Howdy everyone, my name is Ryan Bruce. My friends call me Fluff. I think tube amps actually might eventually go away. So I've been asked this question before, and in the past I kind of arbitrarily answered it as I best thought from what I had really just kind of gathered from the general lay of the land, so to speak. However, when I was on tour for, 5 months last year, I had a lot of time to actually hang out with a lot of you pre and post the shows that I was playing, and a lot of you younger guys would look at my rig, my fractal rig with the cab, and say things very innocently like, "Oh man, what's that like playing guitar that loud?" and things like that. To which I would say, "What do you mean?" A lot of younger players really look at speaker cabinets, but more so tube amps, as I would look at a Mercedes-Benz car or, some kind of a luxury vehicle. Like, yeah, that's cool. And yeah, of course I would love to have one, but that's not really realistic or practical. So therefore I probably won't ever have one. That's the attitude of a lot of younger players these days. And honestly, I get it. See, old people like me and even older people, older than me, have a nostalgic tie to tube amps. And really, when we were growing up, that's all there were. There were physical amplifiers of all shapes and sizes, obviously, but there were lots and lots of actual loud amplifiers to plug into and play. And if you didn't want to use those, then you just didn't play. You didn't. There was no other options. Yes, there were those little headphone amplifiers. You could plug into your guitar and put a pair of headphones directly to those, but those weren't really that common, and also they didn't sound great. When I'd have these conversations with these younger folks at the shows I was playing, they would simply explain, yeah, I have a great set of headphones and I have a MacBook and I have, name your plugin of choice that, it ranged pretty heavily from, Neural DSP to ML Sound Lab to, whatever it was, or a digital processor, Fractal, Helix, Quad Cortex, whatever. They would just very matter-of-factly explain, yeah, I can sound great on my pair of headphones and be in my bedroom and not bother anybody, so it's not really a big deal. Now, back when I toured with Drusuf in my old band, Drusuf had actually told me that he had never actually plugged into a real amp or owned a real amp for that matter, because he had only ever went from Line 6 Pod Farm to a Fractal Axe-Fx. And I remember being blown away by that revelation, and that was in 2016. But now, aside from actual speaker cabinets, now tube amps are kind of in that category with the younger players, and it makes total sense because, as it was explained to me, there's no effects. So it's limited options. It's heavy, it's big, it's expensive. And to maintain it with the tubes, that's getting crazy now as well. Why would I want a tube amp? If I'm gonna get something physical outside of a plugin, I would probably get a Quad Cortex or a Fractal Axe-Fx or a Line 6 Helix or, a Head Rush or something like that. Something that offers me options for my same dollar. And that's, yeah, why would I buy a Ford Model T when I could buy a Tesla? It's literally the same thing. So that makes me think, yeah, I think eventually tube amps are gonna go the way of classic cars. Like, yes, they are always gonna be a thing. They're always gonna be, around, and they're gonna be in the conscience, but I don't think they're gonna be a part of a lot of daily lives in the next 20 years. For example, you are literally gonna go to museums and see, wow, look at those tube amps, kid. My grandpa used to play those. Wow, those things, they're gonna be the same, in the same way as a lot of us would look at a jukebox or something like that. Something that used to automatically play records and was super cool for its time, but it was quickly, you know, just outdated by modern technology, unfortunately. And we love to romanticize about, you know, the old stuff and how we used to like it. And a lot of that stuff is nostalgia based, but when you look at it, tube amps are kind of a pain, as is speaker cabinets. When I go on tour, you know, my band is generally the only band that has actual speaker cabinets on stage. 95% of bands that we play with are direct to front of house with their processors, their quad cortexes, fractals, aforementioned Line 6 helixes, or whatever they're using. No one's using speaker cabinets anymore because everyone's on in-ears. So why would they? Like, that is indicative of what is actually happening in the guitar playing world. And it all, for the first time, just kind of makes sense to me, unfortunately. At any rate, I will leave you with that. What do you think? Tell me I'm nuts down in the comments, or if I'm right on the mark, it's probably somewhere in between. Tell me your thoughts. Are tube amps going to be around in another 30 years? Time will tell, I guess. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. All the Pickable links down below in the description. You've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.